speaker is Cerie Bullivant from Cage. Give him a round of warm welcome, please.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings to everyone here. Thank you for coming. And I'm very sorry. I got to start with an apology. Muazzam was meant to be here, Muazzam Beg, and unfortunately he couldn't make it. So you've got the understudy who is nowhere near as good as him. So my apologies to begin with. But I wanted to talk about these sorts of bills and the effect that they've had. And as I was thinking about what to say, I was thinking about Muazzam's father, who at this time, 20 years ago, was campaigning for his son's release from Guantanamo Bay. 20 years ago, he was campaigning for his release from Guantanamo Bay. And what did he say? A very, very simple message. If my son is guilty, put him on trial and send him to prison. If he's innocent, release him. Yeah. Look at what 20 years of the war on terror has done to dehumanize people from our own country. Now we can't get children out of the new Guantanamo, out of camps in Syria. Children who were born and taken to that country without any choice of their own. And we can't even bring them back to this country. We can't even bring people who were taken out there underage back. That is what 20 years of dehumanization has done. Before, it wasn't unrealistic to call for the release of a grown man, and now we can't even get a child out of a camp. This is what this is all about. Dehumanizing, and one of the biggest ways to dehumanize someone and disempower them is to take away their citizenship, take away their rights. If they have no citizenship, they have no cause for recall. And what have we seen? Taking away your citizenship doesn't just mean you can't get on a flight and come back home. Taking away your citizenship has been in cases like Mehdi Hashi's, where he was renditioned and tortured after that. Held and taken illegally to America, where he was put in prison for years on trumped up charges. Torture because he had no citizenship. Or other cases where people in Africa, in Pakistan, have had their citizenship removed and then within days being killed by American drones, having your life removed. We have no justice, no principles here. Even if you get an opportunity to try and defend yourself, you have a secret court, a secret hearing, where you have no opportunity to know the evidence against you, no jury of your peers. I can tell you what it's like to live under that condition. I was put under secret evidence and house arrest here in the UK for more than 2 years. I spent a good portion of that in solitary confinement in prison. And when you don't even know what you're accused of, what your alleged crime is, it sends you crazy. You can't imagine how the walls cave in on you when you are being held without knowing what the crime is that you're even accused of committing. How can we call this a democracy? How can we call this justice and peace when we don't even know what we're accused of? They was complaining earlier on about the speakers being too loud and that they could hear it going on. That reminded me of sitting in Belmarsh in a solitary confinement and hearing demonstrations on the outside for people calling for the release of those who are being held unjustly in Belmarsh prison on secret evidence. And I remember, just as they felt uncomfortable, I felt that solidarity. Just as they felt fear, I felt that warmth. And we must continue to fight for our people, for our communities. We will not lay down and we will not be silent, and these bills and all of this legislation must be wiped off. Thank you very much for your time.